All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another glorious episode. Let me just sit down here.
Thanks for the 12
So,
views last week.
yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. We're going places. See?
Yeah. It's no Joe
So,
Rogan experience, but
hey, it's the Joe Regina experience, the Joe Regina unexperience.
something.
So, we just came off a big weekend for wrestling with AEW, WWE.
Yeah.
Big weekend. I know I try keeping up with everything, but it was a lot.
It
So,
was, from what I read and heard and seen, it was definitely um, some good stuff. Event. So we
and
had that.
I hope Seth a very speedy recovery.
I hope so too. I really do. He's definitely a great talent. Um, so to your point, speedy recovery. You said this week's about overrated, underrated big men.
Yeah, so it was a Monday when I texted you. When I was feeding the dogs, I was watching uh, a video from Wrestling Bios, and they were talking about Fall Brawl 2000, and it got me saying, "Hey, you know what? I want to watch Fall Brawl 2000." Right? And there's a match with MIA, Corporal Cajun, AWOL, and
Yup.
Lieutenant Loco. Bravo.
El
Um,
Grande Loco.
and AWOL, the wall. I was like, and it dawned on me. I was like, he never got after WCW won, and then after he passed. I think it was like 2003. Like he kind of got forgot about, and it was, he didn't get the, if he was still around, he probably would have got a lot more credit that he deserves.
Hmm.
And it got me thinking, what other overrated or underrated, big men slash giants were out there, and which one of them overrated, underrated, adequately rated. So I have a
Just
list,
rated. Just rated.
and I wanted to see your thoughts.
My thought, I want to go with like one of the most overrated big men, and that just it's too bad that he didn't get over. Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah, I got him on the list.
Um, he was very, and I think his size interfered with his in-ring ability. He was very stiff. Couldn't do a whole lot. It was just, he didn't, he wore that full body suit, so I didn't think he really did anything in the gym. So he really didn't do anything to help his persona as a big guy. So it's just there, the sheer size, like be intimidating. Because I mean, granted, he was like 7'6" or something. He was huge. He was a tall guy. Um, just never really found his motif as a big guy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and when I put him on the list, the first, let's say, three-quarters of the list were obvious write-downs for me. But when I put him down, all I could think of is all the times, like whenever I listen to Arn Anderson's podcast about him wrestling, Giant Gonzalez at that time, El Gigante. He hated wrestling him because, like I said, he was so stiff. He could barely move just because he was like a baby deer walking around. and
Right.
you couldn't do much. It was all size. It was all intimidation, like you said.
I mean, so use the size for intimidation, but as far as like slams or anything, it was just that. Can you give me one quick second? I got to run and grab some caffeine.
Yeah,
Give me
go
like
for
a
it.
minute. Yeah, talk about our sponsors.
Okay, this week's sponsors. We are sponsored by the Arlen Mall. Come by and see our wares. The Blue Chew knockoff, Fuchsia Chew, where you chew the chew and then do the do. And that's about it. That's all we got this week. We were also sponsored by this Fire Stick remote and this thing of baby powder. And this Heineken bottle cap. Those are our sponsors.
Arizona Green Tea. The sponsors Arizona Green Tea.
I wish.
The only thing that's inflation proof.
Depending on where you buy it.
99 cents here.
Yeah, some don't have the price tag on it, so some places charge ridiculous amounts. Which is, I refuse to charge people more than 99 cents.
I don't blame you. So going on with the El Gigante.
Right, so first person I immediately thought of or immediately wrote down, Big Show. Overrated, underrated, adequately rated.
Depending on where he started, he was overrated in WCW and then found his niche in WWE.
So
If that makes sense, I think he's in the middle. He's fine. He's not overrated. He's not underrated. He's a good big man. He found his niche. In that. But in WCW, I think he was highly overrated because he was still learning. And so he was just like throwing people around. Like he's this big side. They had him weighed in. Remember, he had him, the height is 7'4", 550. So they already hyped him. They already hyped him up as far as weight and all that.
Which at his biggest in WWE, I could believe that he was a full 550, 600 pounds. Because
There was a time he did hit 500 pounds legitly. They billed him at 500 pounds. But he came on an interview. He said no, he got up there when he stopped taking care of himself, but his in-ring weight was like 398, which, okay, you're still fucking huge. Like, yeah. Let's not get past the fact that you're still a big guy.
He's not slipping through any windows.
No. But, I think he is perfectly rated for his WWE run.
Okay.
If you agree with that.
I can't argue with that. Now, moving on, second on the list to his kayfabe father, Andre.
I think in the time was a bit overrated.
Blasphemy.
Huh?
Blasphemy.
Well, I mean, I can see it from both ways. Like the dude was legit, like 560 pounds. He was 7'2" or 7'3". The guy was a giant before giants, right? And I forgot that they did that. Kiba Faye, Big Show's father.
Yeah. WCW. But even then, nobody was buying it.
No. Big Show didn't have curly hair, didn't have yellow teeth, wasn't what was Andre the Giant's nationality? Because Big Show
He
was
was French.
American. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So
Andre was
Big Show
French.
was he wasn't French. Like this is his father. No, it's not.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe you. And the voice of Ron Burgundy. I don't believe you. You know.
All right, so
But I think I just and that's my saying. I mean, well, I think he was overrated until he got made human by Hulk Hogan.
and, that's the thing. Like you always hear back then, like Andre was an attraction. People came to see Andre.
Well,
If
yeah, I
Andre
mean,
came to town, you were there.
it's not every day you see someone over 7 foot tall.
And there's a reason that they called him the Boss, right? Because I don't think anybody did not respect Andre. And if they did, if they did not respect him, he made them respect him. There's plenty of stories about Ultimate Warrior getting knocked down a few pegs by Andre.
That may have been the roids talking.
Probably. Now, moving on, sticking with the whole WCW talk we were having, and the guy that made me think of this list, The Wall in WCW. I think
See,
he was, looking back, underrated, but he didn't have a lot of time to prove himself before he passed. So
right, that he's had a very short career. It didn't really blossom, and WCW was wasting talent.
no, especially at the end there.
If you weren't on the part of that, the had control of your creative control, they wasted your talent. I can name a few. I won't go with big men. Do you remember Vampiro?
Vampiro, yeah.
He was a decent sized guy, but I think they wasted him. They wasted that talent.
Vampiro's legacy and mystique grew after WCW when he was on the Independents. That's when he really blossomed. Because it's like we saw glimpses of it in WCW when they were like trying. But he really, when he had a chance to actually be himself, yeah, that's where his legacy really grew. And then AAA and all that. That's where everybody really was like, you know what, Vampiro. So
Another big man from WCW. Well, what about what was his name? Now how big is big? Like, is there a requirement?
my list is you'll see, like, I started off with Big Show and Andre, and I'll go to the next guy that's not as big as them, Sean O'Haire.
Oh man, that was one of my favorite WCW wrestlers too. A big guy that was doing Jeff Hardy moves.
And with that, his tag partner Mark Jindrak.
Yep.
Jindrak and O'Haire.
I was gonna go with Wrath. Remember Wrath?
Well, kind of on the list.
Chronic.
Yeah, they were gonna be met as a tag team.
As a tag team. But Sean O'Haire definitely underrated. And unfortunately, in his passing, his short stint in WWE, with that silly invasion angle. I think we should relive the invasion angle.
I mean, if we could do it, you know, I don't want to like steal somebody else's idea, but there that wrestling bios, he does reliving the war,
Yeah.
and Ripley, come here, neat. But we can talk about that. Just like
But Sean
just like we'll
O'Haire,
talk about Sean O'Haire.
the guy, I mean, he could have made it big. Like, I honest to God thought he had superstar potential, and I think his passing is what didn't allow that to blossom.
And that unfortunately a few guys on that list. That's pretty much what happened. You know.
Fun fact, my senior quote was something that Sean O'Haire always said.
And it's something is it something you need to know?
I'm not telling you anything you don't already know.
Yeah. That's what it was.
I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. It's like, that was my senior quote.
But I really like Sean O'Haire. He was like that whole new blood at the end of WCW. He was one of the shining parts of it.
Like, the one thing I did like about WCW, not to get sidetracked, is the WCW powerhouse. Like, they were getting some legit guys with these amazing physiques and that could do those big things, those amazing things being that big. Like Sean O'Haire jumping off the top rope doing a swanton.
Oh yeah, the power plant was basically what NXT is now, if you think about it.
Right.
To give them credit, it's I can't confirm nor deny that this is what happened, but it's basically NXT. And which a little too late. I think what I was going to try to say, but too little, too late. That they would have started that 4 years earlier, 5 years earlier, and really invested instead of relying solely on the old timers. They would have been okay.
Yep.
And next on the list I got here, Mark Henry.
Mark Henry, underrated.
Very sexual chocolate.
I mean, he did birth a hand for Mae Young. He did help Mae Young birth a hand.
That was fucking wild.
Yeah, there was a wild time back then. With Mae Young being 80 years old, birthing a hand.
It's all slangy and shit.
Oh God. But Mark Henry, like, he didn't get the run, like, he didn't get the main event push until his twilight of his career, right? And they did right by having him hold the world title, but they treated him more as a jobber, than come up with a gimmick like, okay, we're gonna have a 400-pound guy who thinks that he's sexy as fuck, right? Sexual chocolate.
Which,
hey, it was funny.
Yeah, looking back at it, I'm like, I loved it. Like, it was hilarious. But they were already so top heavy at that time that it's like, yeah, I wish we could have got that title run earlier for Mark Henry.
Right, and because I think Mark Henry could have done it at any given time. They were like, okay, Nation of Domination, Sexual Chocolate. And then he left for a bit, right, to do the strongman, came back as the world's strongest man, which he did hold the title for a time as world's strongest man. So WWE wasn't lying.
All right.
He legit held the title. Speaking of big men, I mean, because I want to go off on not a tangent, but since we're talking about big men like Mark Henry, severely underrated. I'm glad he got a title push. I'm glad he held the title, right? To say that he did it, that WWE did see something in him. They made it right. They righted a wrong, is what WWE did. Essentially, with Mark Henry. What I wish WWE would have made right was with Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah, I have him on the list as well, but he's from the
I
80s.
figured you would. You said you brought up a big man like Mark Henry, and we're not just talking about height; we're talking about weight as well.
Yeah,
That dude was
big dude.
that dude was athletic as fuck for how big he was.
Oh,
No guy that size, the same with should not be doing a moonsault.
and some of the guys I have on this list, older guys like Bam Bam and Big Show, and then some modern guys. Some of the guys on this list were friggin' athletic as fuck, like Bam Bam.
Right. Bam Bam was he went through the three big in the 90s, ECW, WCW, WWE. I personally like Bam Bam and ECW, him and Taz going at it
Going through the
constantly.
friggin'. They went through the ring first before Big Show.
They went through the ring. They went through the ramp. I'm pretty sure that Taz suplexed them off the ramp into like the guarding the rails for the crowd. Like Taz, I mean, give it up for Taz for suplexing a well over 300-pound guy. The way Taz suplexes people.
Yeah, Taz is no bigger than me.
No, Taz is like 5'9", stout. Like he is stout.
Yeah. But Bam Bam's
give it
like
up to him that
6'5",
he's
300 pounds.
yeah, and he's throwing him around. Like, granted, yes, does the big guy assist? Great, but how much? Like, it's taking a lot of strength from Taz to do that. So Taz, if you watch this, I'm proud of you. For throwing Bam Bam Bigelow around.
Yeah.
Another big guy, Vader.
Yeah, I have him on the list as well. You're
Again,
bouncing all around my list.
I'm sorry. But he just got big. Now I'm going, wait. I'm like, Bam Bam, Vader. I mean, what about no. Okay, let's go by your list. That's okay. So we don't got to talk about Bam Bam, but let's go next on the list. You just made the list.
I was like, I wrote it down for a reason. All right, this is a twofer.
Ooh,
Taker,
some people call that the jackpot.
Jackpot. Taker and Kane.
Kane, underrated. Undertaker, he's fine. He's not overrated. He's not underrated. He made right.
He's Taker. That's all that needs to be said.
Right, and then Kane. I mean, they just again WWE righting it wrong. Kane only held the world title once. Like, really?
Yeah, and then he held the heavyweight title twice?
No, I think the WWE he held the title 2 times. So remember he beat Austin in the first blood match.
Yeah, and that's with the Bigelow belt, and then he won the big gold belt.
He held the big gold.
And Glenn Jacobs, the mayor, Glenn Jacobs, the 2 or 3 characters he played before Kane. If he would have stopped there before Kane, after Fake Diesel, we would not be having this conversation, with all due respect.
No.
But he came out as Kane, and he immediately was shot to the top.
Like, you can't have a 7-foot dentist named Isaac Yankem.
Yeah. Worst dentist ever. You know.
Yeah. I went to him, and it was the worst prostate exam of my life.
Yeah, maybe you want to call the cops. But speaking of cops, our next guy
Uh-oh. I know who you're going with.
from
Nice segue. I like this segue.
ECW 911.
Ooh. Not where I was thinking where you were going.
Yeah, I went a little deep on that one. Went a little deep cut on that one.
Yeah, you fucking did. I was thinking of Big
But
Boss Man.
I was gonna say I could have also went Big Boss Man, but 911 was next on the list. But we could go Big Boss Man after.
911. See, you're gonna have to speak to him about that because you watched ECW in the earlier days where I caught it like 2-3 years before the ending of ECW. So I can't really speak about 911.
You know, he was more of an enforcer, really. And he was Impact, like he was Boom Bam. Um, I wanted to give him some love. That's why I put him on the list. Um, for who he was adequately rated. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say he was underrated or overrated by any means, but he was adequately rated, especially for the time in ECW.
Okay.
When you knew, oh my God, here comes so and so, here comes Fonzie with 911. When he got in the ring, it was business time. You know, um, talked about Giant Gonzalez. We talked about Vader. Ah, Yokozuna.
Yokozuna. I think he was rated just where like how they used him. He was not overrated or underrated. But to have a Samoan, what is it? Sumo wrestler was kind of funny. You're You're
Samoan.
Samoan. Yes, you're going to be a Japanese sumo wrestler.
But yeah, Yoko, like if he would have Jim Ross on his good old JR on his podcast said it till he was blue in the face. If Yoko could have kept the weight off, because he just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. If he could have kept the weight off, one, he wouldn't have died,
Well,
and two, his career would have been like so much greater. You know what I mean?
he was, yeah. I mean, unfortunate that he couldn't keep the weight off. With because like you said, he just kept getting bigger and bigger. It's very unfortunate that he did pass, but for the size of the man, he did throw some heels and some kicks. I mean, for a big man, he was decently athletic.
Yeah, he definitely showed the potential of what he could have done.
Right.
You know, which is why it's like such a shame that he he could just not stop. He could not help himself. They said, and it was sad. All right, talked about
God rest,
Raven.
rest in peace. Rest in peace, Yoko.
Yeah, rest in peace. All right, the tag team from WCW. We talked about it earlier. We touched on it. Chronic, Brian Adams and Brian Clark, the former Demolition Crush and Adam Bomb.
Yes.
Which
I think they were over. I think they were overrated.
really,
For what they were. Just how they came out, like they're these powerhouses, kind of like their motif. I mean, and shortly after the WCW stint, they were gone.
Yeah, and I want to say, like, I'm going to go by the WWE name so everybody knows. Crush, Brian Adams. He had a decent career before going to WCW. Right, he was already tag champs with Demolition. Moved over to Crush, Kono Crush. He had a decent career in WWE prior. Brian Clark, when he was given Adam Bomb. As a kid, I thought it was like he looked cool as fuck, but it wasn't exactly the best gimmick.
Not for a guy that size, no. I remember the goggles.
Yeah. But then when they went to WCW, Brian Adams joined the NWO just with like this other 15,000 people that joined the NWO.
It was open applications for NWO.
Yeah. You didn't even need a tryout. You just put on the shirt. But then when they got
That's all you had to
together,
do. Go buy one.
Yeah. I thought they were great tag teams that finally got their groove. Both guys got their groove back at the wrong time. And then when they got back they weren't in WWE long, and I think WWE dropped the ball on them because neither of the guys were WWE guys anymore. It was WCW.
No,
Yeah, they got a legit tag team there. Even if their shelf life was shorter, they could have done a lot with them. But all right, so we did Sean here. We did Bam Bam. Speaking of Bam Bam, we can go with the other Bam Bam, Terry Bam Bam Gordy, from the Fabulous Freebirds. Another super athletic big guy.
Wow, I haven't heard that name in a good while. I think underrated.
Great.
Not really much more to speak about that. Just the time where he wrestled and they allowed a lot of time to really blossom, to really show what he could do. I mean, he knew what he could do. He showcased it a few times, and it was just like, okay, and it's like, really, like.
Yeah, when he was with the Freebirds, Michael Hayes, and that's where all the his legacy came from, and when he was by himself. By the time he was back in WWE, he was already hurting and drugs, but it was more of a favor than anything they said. But go with the other old timer here, Cowboy Stan Hansen.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. You're getting some names that I'm having a really hard time remembering. Cowboy, you're going to have to speak about him. Because
in the grand scheme, he was probably adequately rated. In Japan, he was so over. He was so over, and I don't mean overrated, but like just top notch. That again, he could ride his ticket wherever he wanted to go. So I think he was adequately rated especially for the time. But I'll throw in a more current name for you, Drew McIntyre.
underrated.
He looks like
guy is not. They push him. It's like they're doing like a cock tease with this poor guy. Like they push him and then they're like, no. They push and then no.
Just kidding.
Like This guy carried the WWE in the pandemic, held a title in front of no one. It didn't even get a thank you. He came in when he first came in, he was tall, but he didn't have the physique that he does now. And then they released him, and they brought him back, and he reinvented himself.
Yeah,
Like,
his
this guy,
release was the best thing for him. It really was.
No, it was. But they got to use him right, because I mean it sounds like he's a yes man. Like, he's doing what the business wants to do with him, and it's like, dude, you're gonna have to put your foot down. You're like, look, I did this, and this. When are you gonna give me my time? Like, you can carry the business. He is a main eventer, but they're pushing this stupid fucking yeet shit way too hard.
See, and I have a different, and maybe it's just my thought, my eyes. It looks like he's having fun with whatever he's doing.
Well, I
You
think
know what I
that
mean?
he does look like he's having fun because, granted, remember, I think he had one of the best matches of all time at Clash of the Castle a couple years ago against Sheamus.
Yeah. We could talk about Sheamus too, if you'd like, because he's right up there with the big man.
Can I talk about a big man
Sure
that
can.
might have not made your Riz? What about, I want to go with the tag team of 3-minute warning.
Rosie and Jamal, Umaga.
Umaga and Superhero in Training. Shit. Again, severely underrated as a tag team, but then when they rebranded Jamal as Umaga, that's where I think it was, again, a little underrated, and he was working up to getting to that perfect spot, and unfortunately WWE released him because of drug issues and all that, and wound up passing.
Yeah. And as a tag team, I agree they were underrated. The guy that was Umaga, he had a very excellent career up to that point.
Oh, he did.
So I definitely wouldn't say he as the wrestler, the performer, was ever underrated or overrated. I would say he was more underrated just as the wrestler himself, not necessarily the character itself of Umaga. But they could have went far with 3-minute warning.
Did anyone understand what he was saying when he was Umaga?
Umaga.
Did anyone understand what he was trying to say? Like, I mean, I swear he sounded just like a Pokemon. Like, he just kept repeating his name.
And that's where I will dare say that Umaga, the character, was overrated. Because I'm like, eventually the whole shtick is going to wear out. And where do you go from there? You know what I mean?
Right, they made him
severely underrated. The character, I'm like, eventually they would have to move away from that,
They made him like the Samoan bulldozer, like no one's going to be able to beat him. He's just doesn't take damage. Nothing hurts him. Just this. And it worked for a while, but when will it have to come to an end? Like, you remember, it's the same thing, like, we could talk about another big guy. I don't know if he made it more current, Rusev, right?
Rusev Day.
Right. I remember one of his debut matches, and I remember watching the Raw, and it was Rusev versus the Great Khali. And now, when you look at those two characters in the ring, you would think, oh, the Great Khali's got this.
Rusev is a beast.
Right. But I think they were pushing Rusev up. I mean, obviously, they were pushing Rusev, right? And, I look at a match right? I mean, yes, entertainment, but I look at it, can he do it? Is it realistic that, this guy is going to take down this 7'3" guy, right? And then he did, right? And I'm like, oh shit, you know. Like, I think Rusev was underrated his first run, got more appreciated when he went in AEW, and now hopefully he maintains that in his second WWE stint.
Yeah. And I like Rusev. Even his first run, he definitely grew on me.
I did. You know why I liked Rusev? His first
Lana.
run? Lana.
He was definitely a lot better to look at.
Who wants to look at Rusev?
Rusev doesn't want to look at Rusev.
No. Come here, Lana.
But since we already touched on him, Great Khali, which I will say is overrated to the telling blue in the face.
I was gonna go with overrated. Big man, couldn't move around the ring a whole lot. Couldn't do a whole lot besides big boots and this chop to your fucking skull. All right. And he had like 4 moves. And they made a match for him, which was cool how it looked, a little racist, calling it a Punjabi prison match.
Which, even if you ever watch any Jinder Mahal interviews, he fucking hated it.
I bet.
You
he's
don't hinder the Jinder, but you definitely don't put him in Punjabi prison.
No, and he was like, as a heel, great heel. Not to get sidetracked as Jinder Mahal, but he was a great heel. But how he talks in interviews, it's amazing. Like how he no, that match sucked. Like, why would they do that? Like
you said, great concept. Just I can't even say it was poorly executed. Like, there was no good execution. No. Great idea, cool idea, but
it was like they were grabbing. They're like, oh, let's throw. They're throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing if it sticks, right?
Yeah.
And I thank God they only did like 2 of those fucking matches because it was just dumb.
Yeah.
But Great Khali, overrated. Didn't deserve the title, right? I mean, you had him crush Rey Mysterio's skull, just this giant, right? And then I just overrated. Like, he didn't deserve the WWE run. He wasn't athletic. They signed him because of his sheer size, and that was it.
But we could both agree he's overrated. And talking about not having athleticism, you talk about a big man that did have athleticism. One Man Gang / Akeem the African Dream. One Man Gang.
You're talking early 90s WWF.
80s, early 90s.
I think he was rated decent for the era of where he wrestled.
I will go in the history of most recent history. He is underrated. But at that time, I think I agree with you that he was adequately rated. He doesn't get talked about much anymore, so it's like almost like it's not as appreciated. But right. But yeah, One Man Gang. Somebody around the same time frame. We just got inducted to the Hall of Fame. Earthquake.
Those big guys, Earthquake and Typhoon. Underrated.
Great.
Big man, just not utilizing and just He could have done so much more. And he knew it too. He knew that he could do more. Just, that's unfortunate, you know. I hope and pray you have Tugboat on there.
Well, I had both of them together.
Okay.
Okay, I got 3 left on this
Can I-
list.
Hillbilly Jim?
You know, I did not put Hillbilly Jim in. Shame on me.
And shame on me.
Shame on me. With that said, Hillbilly Jim, because I forgot about him, is underrated.
Oh, very.
You give love to, and you know what? I take that back. Now I have 4 on the list. Him
No, him.
and Big.
No, 4.
I gotta add somebody else. Him and Big John Studd, grossly underrated.
Ew.
You want to put Hacksaw on the list, too? Hacksaw's always underrated. Love Hacksaw.
Ew. Gets hit in the head with a chair. Ew.
Another guy, again, 80s guy, another Midwest guy, Junkyard Dog. Much loved, much appreciated. I put him at adequately rated because he was never overrated. Maybe underappreciated, but always loved.
I agree. I'm with you there.
Okay, the last 2 guys are modern guys.
Okay.
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest right now he started off underrated and they pushed him in the main event and he's living up to the hype. So he's not overrated. I think he's adequately rated.
Agreed. I agree. Damian
I
Priest
think you're
is
missing
good.
one more, too. I think you're missing one more.
Okay, the last guy I have on my list, and that's because he will always be underrated to me, and I will always love Otis from Alpha Academy. He is my spirit animal.
Otis. I like how he tried to stand up to Brock Lesnar and Brock Lesnar threw him around.
And I'm like, I love the goofiness that is Otis, whatever his Norwegian name is, and if I pronounce it, it'll come out wrong. He's a goofball, right?
And I didn't believe that he had a girlfriend. I think who was it? Liv Morgan?
I don't remember.
Came a fake girlfriend? I'm like, no. I don't think.
But I'm like, you know, they're keeping him off TV, and I hope they're keeping him off TV for a reason. But like last time we saw him, sorry, Ripley, friggin' Rusev was friggin' fucking him up, and I'm like, you do not do this to my man Otis.
You do not do this.
So they better come. When he comes back, they better friggin' push him because I'll defend Otis to the day I die. And Chloe pooped in the hallway.
Chloe pooped in the hallway.
That's what she thinks about Otis. Bitch.
Don't put it out with your boots, Ted.
Don't tell me what to do, devil woman.
This one's out of control. Call the fire department. I think you're missing JBL on that list.
I did forget to put JBL on the list. You might hate me for this, but John Bradshaw Layfield by himself is overrated.
When he was Bradshaw with the APA.
That's a different. The APA was never overrated. Ron Simmons, Farouk,
Not a big guy.
but better than Bradshaw, in my opinion. And I know the 6 to 12 people that might see this might hate me for saying that.
All 12 of the motherfuckers.
But JBL, granted, he he did that character so fucking good. You loved to hate Bradshaw. But
We never talked about Kevin Nash either.
I didn't want him to tear his quad. You put it out there, he immediately tore his quad.
No, or Scott Hall.
Katie pointed out about Scott Hall that she was like, whenever she saw pictures of him and then she found out how tall he was, she was shocked.
Yeah, he was like 6'6", 6'7". He was a taller. I think he was like 6'6". He was a big guy.
Yeah, but she was like, I always saw him standing next to Kevin Nash, and he always looked so small.
Well, yeah, anyone looks small.
And even standing next to Hogan, Hogan's a big guy. I dare not put him on this list, but Hogan was a big guy too. So it was like standing next to them. Even the biggest guy like Scott Norton or Scott Hall looked small in comparison. So. But yeah, Kevin Nash, I would definitely say he's adequately rated.
I do. I agree.
Because he has enough of a track history to definitely say he's not underrated. Some people would dare say he's overrated, which I can't necessarily argue, but considering all the history that he did and he was a part of, I'd say he's adequate.
No. Hey.
But Scott Hall, I think, is adequately rated because people recognize how good he actually was. It's clean.
No, the bad guy, Razor Ramon. I was a fan growing up of Razor Ramon. That was my favorite wrestler as a kid.
Me too. I love Razor.
Other big guys that were not like honorable mentions. I mean, like big guys that
Yeah, I mean, by all means, I'm obviously I miss people.
Oh yeah, like Batista.
Batista, I would say, is adequately rated.
No, he had his main event push. In his prime, he just got into the game too late. Right, that class of 2002 was awesome, but he was already 30 at the time. So his wrestling career was short. And
yeah,
I mean, just imagine like if they would have got him in his 20s, right? I mean, right, it would have been amazing.
Yeah, and he definitely had his talent. He definitely had the talent. He had the luck. He had ability. The mandibles, Baptista. He just leaves it at his hands.
Oh yes, the Tina Morella, the Mandible.
The mandibles,
Dude, Santino Morella is like one of the funniest guys in interviewing. Like when they had him mispronounce the names, like that was his idea, and just him going off like Don Chena,
Rodney the Piper.
Rodney the Piper.
You're Mr. McMahon. He is the Donald. You put you together, you are a McDonald.
Like, he was, he
Santino's
owns a
underrated.
record. Very. No, it's not a big guy, but man, it was during the PG era. Like that's when he really came out. Like he was I guess, what made it kind of worth watching. Because I tell you the truth, I wasn't really a fan of some of these PG storylines coming up. Because they had to change the rating and all that. And now, as we see, went to Netflix, and now things are kind of going back to like almost like a ruthless aggression / attitude kind of era.
Yeah, it's
Which
like they're keeping. It's more of a PG-13, like a hard. I wouldn't say a hard PG-13 because I would say a hard PG-13 would have been the Attitude Era.
right,
But it's especially on Netflix. You might hear a fuck get dropped here or there, or shit. You know, um, that's why I think CM Punk does work on Raw because you can have the more grittiness of like him or hate him, like him or hate him. It's a good spot for CM Punk
it
because
is.
he is a grittier entertainer.
And kudos to John Cena redoing that pipe bomb on CM Punk. I did like that little twist a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and it could be another video, but I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about the whole Cena.
If you guys didn't know, for the dozen, Reggie's not the biggest fan of John Cena.
John Cena.
Rodney the Piper.
Rodney the Piper. The Mandomo Baptista. You should see that in his hand.
Cold Stone Steve Austin. Oh Lord.
Sorry, we're going on a Santino trip here.
Yeah, I mean, surprise guest, Tito Morella. Oh shit, he never got my message. That fuck.
He thought you invited him to the city of Monaco. He didn't realize it was from Joe Monaco. He thought it said go to Monaco, not Joe Monaco.
Happens all the time.
But I know you. And again, obviously, if you hadn't noticed, Joe is not a fan of the Yeetamania. But next week, me and Katie are going to Comic-Con.
Nice.
And one of the meet and greets over at Mattel is WWE. Like they have their exclusives, their new Ultimates line. It's Jacob Fatu, who is for a big, a smaller side on the big men, doing great things. Julia and Jey Uso. So I'm gonna try to get video of us eating, me, Katie, and him.
I still remember when you did the Comic-Con in New York City and you're sending me pictures like, oh, hey, look, here's Wee Man.
Holy fuck. When I got to meet Rey Mysterio, Ray.
Yep.
And of course, he left Dominic at home like the shitbag father he is.
Again, speaking of it, the only time in WWE you can have a custody battle settled by a ladder match.
Yeah. Live on television, the fight for Dominic. So,
But that's I think we pretty much nailed that list.
yeah, and if anybody comes across this video and thinks of anybody else, any big men that we missed, please drop it down below.
Yes.
If you agree or disagree with anything we all said, that's fine. Just know that you're wrong. but feel free to argue with us in the comments. But yeah, those are some over/under big man. Let us know if we forgot anybody. Anything else to add, Joe?
Don't smoke crack.
It's a good one.
I
That
thought
is
it
good.
was.
Yes. Crack is bad.
Yeah, I mean, since we're going on YouTube, I mean, it's a national thing. So, I mean, just don't smoke crack and, you know, make sure you get your pets spayed or neutered to help control the pet population.
Yes. For their safety. Anything else, Joe?
No, have a good day.
You too, bud. But till next time.
Till next time. That's it.